In this edition of INN CEO Talks, I'm joined by Peter Schloo of Heritage Mining, and we're talking about gold, silver, and copper at the company's two Ontario projects. Peter, welcome back. Good to see you.
Thanks so much for having us back, Stuart. It's been a long time and a lot's happened since then, so glad to be back on.
Well, a lot has happened. One thing for sure, you hadn't quite been listed when we last talked, and now you're on the CSE. Tell us about the process there and what the results have been.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we IPO'd in one of the hardest markets in, I'm told, a couple decades. So that was a feat in of itself. So a big pat on the back to the team who helped us get us across the line. We did have some selling pressure, which was very typical with the entire industry. So now we're at a fantastic price from an entry standpoint. And from an operational perspective, we've executed very well with a short time frame. So when we were going through the IPO process, and I think we were on it back in July, we couldn't really do that much work on the property. And we initially, you list in, you submit your application and you get approved to go, May 31st. Hopefully you can get it done in June. It dragged on until August. So we didn't have that much of a window for from an exploration execution perspective. But what we did is a systematic approach to our channel sampling program to further develop the three target areas. And then since then, so we did some check sampling on our project from historical results. We wanted to make sure that, if we're waving the flag of systematic exploration, we want to make sure that everything checks out. And then what we did is, building on that and the historical data that we've compiled, we executed a channel sampling program over our three target areas, which have now been defined as, three potential deposits, potentially, right? So there's three areas: the Alcona area, New Millennium, and Moretti. And what we have is economic grades, silver or gold and silver, similar ratios to Treasury Metals, and they're far enough apart. They're kilometers apart, so they could be standalone. We do need to do some work this upcoming season to drill those off, and we're very excited about 2023. So gold is in a completely different price point now. There seems to be some more attention into the sector, so it's a very exciting time for us as a newer issuer.
Yeah, gold really is back in the spotlight, isn't it? I was looking at Barrick Gold's president, Mark Britton, this morning, talking about how gold is going to reposition. But what was also interesting is he was talking about how the company is going to continue to look to and rely upon junior exploration companies. And so that must be encouraging news for you.
No, absolutely. And I think even just to build on the junior space, and specifically in Ontario, Dynasty Gold had some good results that came out, January 10th. I don't mean to advertise for another company, but we're neighbors. We're in the same area, not quite neighbors. They're but we're on the same trend. And it's so refreshing to see good drill results get rewarded in the marketplace. That's what we're all, that's what we all hope for. That's what we all want in the sector. And it just wasn't happening when we went public. So we're sitting here, we have three areas, three potential deposits. To have multiple deposits in our package is not out of the question. Treasury Metals has, three deposits on theirs. They have a couple million ounces on the resource table. So we're in the right address, and we're poised for discovery, and we've got confirmed high grade gold and silver in the three areas. So we're really looking to add some value this year to the shareholders.
As you mentioned a little bit earlier, you didn't complete your financing as early as you wanted to last year, so it curtailed or limited the amount of drilling that you could do. What should investors be looking for from you as we now start to move into spring and into Q2? What kind of news do you anticipate you'll be sharing?
Yeah, absolutely. So from a milestone perspective, we're looking and we're going to apply and submit our permit, hopefully get approved. We're looking for a permit approval for our upcoming program. So definitely look out for that. Technically, it was permitted for drilling previously. We didn't like the locations after our systematic approach. So new permit. The second milestones, and I guess we can break it out into three and just chat about it. So the three areas that we're looking at are Alcona, New Millennium, and the Moretti areas with three, advanced targets, deposit potential. So we'll be approaching that in a phased approach. Everybody's got to watch the bank still and watch the cash. So we got to deploy that as efficiently as possible. Optimizing capital allocation. So, we're going to go a phased approach in the three areas to answer the questions. Do we keep going? We think that there's merit on all three. So I would definitely look for that. And on top of that, it's only the three deposits, the potentials that we have are the three advanced target areas. That's only 50% of the property, right? So we have a huge package, it's 15,000 hectares. So we still have additional target development that isn't as advanced, but we have some pretty close runners. So I definitely look up for some new potential targets in 2023 as well. So a lot of value to add here.
So for an investor right now looking especially into this space, and as I pointed out, Mark Bristow from Barrick Gold says that, like from their perspective, they're relying on junior exploration companies. What is, your pitch to investors, to say now's the time to get on board?
Absolutely. So I think if you're, what's the pitch? We're poised for discovery. And on top of that, we're in a fantastic address, close proximity to infrastructure. We have a team that's been there and done it before. 2 directors from Trelawney sailed to IM Gold. We have a mine builder, Ray Carvelis, who was a founding director and CEO of DRA Global. That's a global mining and consulting firm. So we have the eyes to look to see if there's really something there. We've done what we said we would do. We're systematically advancing the property. And on top of that, to just speak in a relative, comparable standpoint or point of view, I think there's about 30 companies that I compare ourselves to. That's the criteria is Ontario gold exploration, doing the similar thing that we're doing. We're at the bottom of the barrel in terms of a valuation standpoint. So when you look at us relative to everybody else in our peer group, we're at the bottom. So if there's going to be a flood of capital and people are going to start, paying more attention to the junior gold sector in Ontario, we're poised for a re-rate. And that's my opinion. That's my personal opinion from my analysis. And we got some good volume. So I think it's, put your seatbelts on. I think 2023 is going to be a fantastic year.
So long term, what are you aiming for? To merge in or vend into a major? Or depending on how things go, do you have other plans based on the fact that you have such an extraordinary team?
Yeah, so and that's bringing it back to, we touched on this in July when we were on with you previously. So we built the company with a people first approach. So we have the team that can take a project from exploration through to advanced development and production, and they've done it a few times. So when we're sitting there and looking at a property, our flagship Drayton Black Lake, we see the path, and if given the opportunity, we can execute on it. We just have to deliver. So. And at any point in time along the way, of course, we're going to consider, any takeout, joint venture, et cetera. We're open, but do we have the team to take it all the way? And is that the plan? Yes. Is that realistically going to happen? Most of the time these things get taken out. And I think it'd be a bit silly to say, yes, we're gonna take it all the way. So I'll leave it at, we have the team to do it. And we're focused on, the next 1 to 2 years out and how we can just add the most value at that point with a long-term view in
mind. Well, this is a very interesting time to be in the sector that you're in Ontario, in North America, with changing geopolitical, shifts that are underway right now. So it's a really good time to be looking at the company.
I would agree with you, Stuart. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for your time today, and I do hope that you're going to come back a little bit later this year and tell us all the amazing discoveries that you've been able to confirm.
Absolutely. We're really looking forward to doing that.